Number 2, 1929. Read it. Early score. Nice. Boss Dog Ring Coins, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Have yourself a good weekend. Brought me some luck. 1953D. Weenie number 2. This coin mat, I made it. If you go back, trying to think which video I have it linked on. I'll see if I can find it. I know I have your email. I'll shoot you. Basically, what I did is I went through PCGS and anything that they designate. I mean, there's other errors that aren't on here. And if people message me and say, hey, you should consider this or consider that. But basically, so I have the year, the error, and then kind of what you want to look for, because as you know, different things for DDOs and DDRs, there's different parts of the coin you want to, hone into. So I've kind of put little cheats there to help people out. And I have this in a PDF on one of my videos, so people can just print it out and use it if they want to. Generally what I do is I lay it out as I'm going through the coins under the certain dates, and then scope them all at once. Like when the mat starts getting sloppy, it really depends on the box. It might be 10 rolls, it might be halfway through the box. But once the mat starts getting sloppy is when I'll go through and I'll scope anything that I need to scope and start from scratch again. It's just, I'm not a huge scoper. It's tedious to me, but there's so many errors and varieties to look for that I don't want to miss out on them. So I find scoping all at once is easier on me. And not only that, but it makes the stuff pop a little bit better, because you're looking like, if I'm going through this pile, this is my wide AMs, I'm just sliding up, and to me it's much more efficient. I think I called it like coin hunting pennies or something like that, but yeah, I have that because when I first started hunting, you read all different kind of things and you watch all different kind of videos, and you start looking for the wrong stuff, and you think you have something you don't have, and not everybody wants to spend 25, 30 bucks on a mat. People don't want to do the research per se in the books to figure out what they want to look for. So this is a easy one-off print. Basically, if you have this date, you might want to consider looking a little bit deeper into it. It's kind of the way that for casual hunters, once you start, really getting into it, it's kind of becomes second nature. But for newbies, it comes in pretty handy. I wish it was around when I started, but yeah, because pennies have so much stuff in it. That's one of the reasons they're fun to hunt. Is not anymore, but they used to be the easiest to get. You'd be hard pressed not to be able to walk into a bank and walk away with a bunch of pennies, if not a box. And it's really affordable for anybody, and there's a ton of stuff to find. So they're a great place for really any hunter. The only problem is there's no silver in pennies. Well, there shouldn't be, I should say. But besides that, pennies are awesome. You've been chugging through the consistent content, right? It's good to see that so many people jump into it and lose steam pretty quickly. It's certainly a labor of love. I feel your pain. The struggle is real. I've been sitting on this box for a while. I've been kind of holding on to it just because getting coins has been tough. But I said, you know what, I'm going to hunt this, and then I'm going to hopefully replace it tomorrow at one of my banks. But hopefully I don't get turned away, because that's just the way it's been. It's been tough to get anything. The last box of pennies I got were actually customer wrap rolls, and they weren't very exciting. You never know with the customer wraps. They can be great or they can be trash, but it was pretty an uneventful hunt. So I'm hoping this isn't burning myself, but they were calling to me, so I figured I'd break into them. Your last box of pennies. Hopefully it's not your last box of pennies. Hopefully it's just the last box of pennies till you pick up your next one. You never know. You might go there tomorrow and they'll have one waiting for you. That's all you can hope. I'm just hoping I don't have to piece together a box 10 rolls at a time from 5 different bags. That stinks when that happens. My one bank I haven't been to in a couple of weeks, and they normally order boxes for me, so I'm hoping that she's backlogged and stuff for me and just is sitting on a mound of stuff, but that might be a pipe dream. I went to the fun coin show over the weekend here in Orlando, and I was talking to one of the guys there. He said that he feels like once they, you know how they have the stop on evictions and stuff like that where no one's allowed to evict anybody, he said once they drop that, he's like, there'll be a huge influx of coins because people will be trying to make rent that they, because now they can be evicted if they don't pay. And he's like, there'll be a lot of new coins introduced into the market when that happens. It'd be interesting to see if he's right or not. Yeah, that's the thing. That's my thing with nickels, man, is I've been able to get boxes of nickels, but they're all uncirculated. It's like, okay, what do I mean, I've even taken them from one bank to another bank and swapped a uncirculated for an uncirculated. It's like, this is crazy. For a coin shortage, there's certainly a lot of uncirculated coins out there. And there's been a ton of uncirculated quarters, too. I would have robbed Peter to pay Paul back in the day for an uncirculated box, and now it seems like that's all I can get. Now that the W's are gone. Oh, look at that. Looks like we got a dime. Yep. Just made 9 cents. Gotta love that. Yeah, the last time there was the coin shortage, or when they actually said there was a coin shortage, I started stocking up. I had about, I don't know, 10, 15 boxes packed up, just so I had boxes for a rainy day. But then I started to burn through them because it seemed like things were better. And then all of a sudden they came out with this, I don't know, I think it's pretty fake myself, but this supposed coin shortage that's been created by the Fed. It's not even by the banks anymore. It's the Fed saying, hey, we're not releasing any coins. And what they are releasing seems to be new coinage versus anything circulated, which is weird. Sure, they're up to something. I actually searched a box of uncirculated nickels once and found it had about, I don't know, 2 coins per roll that weren't uncirculated. And I ended up finding a war nickel and a buffalo when the box was like 95% uncirculated 2020s. Yeah, I do the same thing. I've been trying to set aside 2 boxes of, actually 1 box of each mint. So I've got I started doing it just last year, but I've got a 19p, I've got both 20s, and I've got both 21s, a P and a D, a box of each of those pennies. And I kind of just tucked aside, waiting for someone to find all the amazing errors that I can search for, where I've got, all nice juicy rolls that haven't been destroyed yet, because the coinage gets beat up quick. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with hoarding money, because it is just money until you find the errors and varieties. Yeah, the same thing here. I don't normally see the Denvers. I've been trading for the Denvers. Like I forget who I got the 20. I think it was one of the guys that I am friends with in Arizona sent me the box of 2021 Ds, because I get all Phillies. And I traded Rob rolls of quarters, because I can't keep a box of quarters. But I traded him 2 rolls for two rolls. He had Denvers and I had Phillies. So I traded him with the cross of the Delawares, so that way I was able to get a roll of crossing the Delawares, and I have P's and D's now, both of those. But yeah, it depends on which one you're next to, or the ones you normally get. Because the thing is, by the time the Denvers are always mid so much better, but by the time they get to me, it's generally 6 months after they get released, and a lot of them are already kind of beat up. Where I know when they come right out of the rolls, they're gorgeous coins. I think so, at least comparatively to the Philly. The Philly just doesn't. I don't understand that either, how the same mints can put out so dramatically different coins. Because the Denvers, to me, often look proof-like. And you don't see that much from the Philly at all. Queen Hunter Chris, welcome. I'm guessing it's about dinner time, correct? It's about normally when you stroll in here, right as you're getting ready to skedaddle for dinner. For spaghetti and meatballs, right? Oh, you just ate. Going to the pool. Yeah, it's been hot, man. We've had a ton of rain here, so the kids have not been in the pool as much as I would like, but it's kind of hard to send them out there with the weather the way it's been. It's been raining like cats and dogs, it seems like forever. It's good for them. You gotta wear them down, that way they sleep well. If you go late, you don't have to worry about the sun melting the skin off your body either. Wow, that's hot. Yeah, my the scoutmaster for our troop, he went with his family to. They have an RV, and they are going out driving around the West Coast, hitting a bunch of the state parks and things like that. And they were at the Grand Canyon yesterday or the day before, and it was like 118, or it feels like 100 or 118. Actual temperature was like 104. It's like, yeah, better you than me, man. That's the kind of weather where pavement starts to get a little soft.
Dad?
Yes.
Tomorrow, can you bake the rest of your cinnamon rolls?
Yep. I'll do breakfast tomorrow. Bed.
Dad, what are you hunting for?
Sure.
What are you hunting for?
I'm hunting for wheat pennies.
Hunting for what?
wheat pennies.
Okay. Nope. Come on. Rip your pants
Will
open.
we still?
Underpants,
What?
I mean.
What time will it be when we get home
Come
from
on.
school?
2 o'clock.
Okay.
Come on.
Can we play?
Come on.
That bad.
Yeah, see, my things were put to bed an hour ago.
Jack is messing with your stuff.
Oh, sweet. Second, yeah, I've only found one. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure Vegas is Gage shows 122. Ouch. Yeah, I remember with that. You know, they always say it's not as bad out there because you guys has the dry heat compared to the humid heat that we have here in Florida. But I don't care who you tell. When it's 122 or 112, you're feeling it whether it's dry or not, man. Yeah, it's been a wicked year. I think it's crazy when they've been getting 100 and somethings like up in Washington and Oregon and Montana and places like that where they're not built for that. I mean, at least you kind of expect that at some point. I mean, I know that we expect the heat down here. Yeah, the steering wheel's the worst. The worst is when you've got black leather and no tint, and you sit down on it with shorts. Woo! Brand you a little bit. Might have yourself a car tattoo on the back of your legs. Yeah, mine, we got my car the other day, my kids were like, oh, I got so hot in here. I'm like, we got to start driving. You got to get the fresh air flowing through the system. And it doesn't seem like it cools down as much. You're generally where you got to go by the time it's just starting to, catch its cooling potential. It's not like the winter where you can have the car start to warm up for you. It doesn't cool down the same. What's up, George? I don't think I've got Nightbot on, though. You typed it in here? I thought I turned Nightbot off because Nightbot's, man, my Nightbot's mean. I found this 53D right as Boss Dog coin rings came in, so he was my lucky charm there. And then my second coin of the box was this 29. So I've got just 2 wheats right now, but second coin in was at 29, which is pretty awesome. Well, something erased it. Maybe I have a mystery Nightbot that I'm not aware of. You know what? It could be Streamlabs because it was all caps. It could be a setting I have. I still haven't figured out all these settings. Man, there's so many different settings and bells and whistles and all the other kind of things you got to figure out. It could just be the way that I've got it set up where it says if they talk in caps, get them out of here. What's up, Guam Stacker? Good to see you. You've been stacking the gold. I'm jealous. Went to the coin show this weekend, man. They had so much stuff, man. I was like totally overwhelmed and not rich enough to afford any of it, man. They had such cool stuff. Hang on one second for me, guys. Well, hey, they have the second one is in January, and according to the guys that I talked to, the dealers, they said that the winter show, or the show they do in January, is 3 times as big as this one, which means they'll probably have 1,000 vendors there. I mean, it was overwhelming, to be honest with you. It was like, I did a quick video on it, I haven't put it out yet, but you know, if you don't go in with a game plan, you're toast. It's just, there's so much stuff. I mean, there was 380 booths, and every one of them had amazing stuff. I mean, there was some stuff where they did, you know, the ancient Romans and some stuff like that I'm not necessarily into, but it was still cool stuff. It was crazy town. And there were certain things, like the Mint normally goes to this show. They weren't at the show this year. But the grading companies are there, and you can turn coins in. I guess at this show, oh, I just dropped that 99. Where'd you go? You can instant grade at this show normally. They didn't do it this year, where you just can turn coins in and pick them up at the end of the show, and they'll have it slabbed and graded for you already. So you can buy at the show and have it graded at the show and picked up before you leave. It's crazy. I mean, there's so much stuff there. I mean, that's so much, and it's all nice stuff too. It's just like the first booth I went to, I saw this war nickel. I'm like, wow, that's a gorgeous nickel. And so I was just curious. I was like, hey, how much is this nickel here? It was, I mean, it had really nice toning to it. $2,200. I was like, oh, thank you. Oh, man, it was just like craziness, some of the stuff you see there. Yeah, you don't got to pay. And they actually will deal with you better, too, because at the show, they don't have to worry about shipping and handling or whatever. And, you know, most of the people going to the show are coin people, so everyone's paying cash for the most part. And so because they're paying cash, they're more likely to wheel and deal with you than trying to deal with them online, because they don't have to worry about losing all that percentage from transactions and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you could spend a lot of money really, really quickly at the show. That's for sure. I mean, they're crazy. I mean, one of the guys had an 80-pound bar of silver. 80 pound. Really, an average circulation war nickel is for $1,800. You know what? I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was talking to her financial planner, and because they're she might sell her house. And so he's like, hey, he's like, right now the market's really good. He's like, and a sucker is born every day. It's just our job to find that sucker. So it's crazy. Coin Chaser, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Family's doing well. I'm actually sending my rats back to school tomorrow. They've been home for 11 days straight now, and so they're going back tomorrow. So tomorrow morning is going to be a total blank show, to put it mildly, because they've been staying up late and getting up late, and tomorrow's going to be an early day. It's going to be not a lot of fun. But that's the way it rolls. Look at that. Someone, it's the Coin Chaser. Brought me some luck. He comes in. We found our next week. It's another 56D. That must be the go-to coin that we find when someone walks in. Yeah, when you say it seems early to go back to school, my youngest was in first grade this year, and he was struggling with just having the attention span to be in school, so he did not do so great at his reading. He was not where I wanted him to be, so I sent him to summer school because he'll be working with the teacher that he'll be working with next year, so they can kind of get acclimated. Look at that, another week. 1944. Now we're getting onto the train here. But it allows him to get acclimated, plus it allows him a little bit more kind of lower student attention. So, and my second youngest is a victim of circumstances, because it would have been kind of hard to send the youngest and have the second youngest stay home and have a summer break, so he got sent to. So it's my little ones. My big ones are still home. Yeah, they don't go back. They don't go back to school. They have 2 more weeks of summer school and then 2 weeks off, and then so it's about a month before real school starts up again. Are you guys seeing things okay? YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open widget. I don't know what that means. Am I breaking up on you guys? So it says the stream is healthy, but I've never seen this error before either. Okay, good. I don't know, that's the first time I've ever seen that error, but it doesn't tell me how to fix it either. Now we're back to excellent connection. So, it must have been a temporary difficulty. That's weird. Bizarro. Yeah, it is time for a new Mac if I can afford it, man. I had so much stuff in my system, it was just being wonky, and so I got an old portable hard drive. I pulled it out and took 300 gigs off my computer and put it on the hard drive. And it seems to be working a little bit better now than it was, but I still got way too much on this thing. Yeah, these are my 09s here. I was at one point just keeping the prettier ones. I said, you know what? Screw it. They're a penny. I mean, so I keep them all. I have it's a little coffee container, like from iced coffee, and I just put 2009 on it, and I just throw them in there. And when it gets full, I start a new one. Hey, Chris, enjoy the pool. Which the new ones are coming out in like a month? Which new ones, Georgia? Oh, the Macs. Yeah, well, I'm talking about. I'd love to have any new Mac, let alone the crazy new ones. Mine's old. I actually. We got a Canadian. 77. I've had my Mac. It seems like forever. And it is a desktop. Because I was doing I had a MacBook prior to that, but I really wasn't going any place with it. So I was like, it's just easier to have it's way cheaper too to have a desktop. But I've had it for, gosh, forever, it seems like. I would love to have a new one, but this is not in my future. Because when they're new, man, they're just like, they just purr like kittens. That's one reason I stayed with a Mac, is they're a lot more expensive, but man, they hold up. They don't burn up like the PCs. And for me, I have not had great luck with PCs. PCs are good for a couple of years, and they tend to crap out. Where my Macs I've had, you can work them to death before they start giving you too much of a hard time. I have to clear my board here soon. It's getting kind of sloppy. Yeah, I'd have to look to see what mine is. I feel like mine's older than that, but I could be wrong too. I could be just being a drama llama. Wouldn't be the first time. So you struggling to get coins too, Georgia? Were you still pulling boxes on a regular basis? We were talking about that earlier, how the coin shortage has not been good to us. I know you struggled for a little bit, but it looks like you've been getting tons of boxes lately.
I haven't told you this, but my lip's been bleeding.
Okay, we'll go put some chapstick on it and then go get in bed. I think Mom has some if you can't find any. So she's still ordering for you then. My one bank, even with halves, she's saying she only can get $1 a week for me. I mean, she's said that she tried it because I asked her to order 2 for me, and they only sent her 1. So even on halves, they've limited her down to 1. Yeah, it's craziness, man. This is, I mean, the fact that, if you think of all the customers, if you're a bank, if you have any business customers, they're limited to $1 per denomination per week. I mean, I know a lot of businesses don't use that kind of coin really anymore anyways, but when you spread it across all your stores, it seems kind of crazy to me. But I guess they're figuring the big boxes like, the Publix and the Targets and the Walmarts and crap like that, they're getting their coin orders direct versus from a bank anyways for the most part. But I'll keep my eyes peeled for it. I watched your educational video today on halves. Hang on one second for me.
Will's doing it.
If you two do not go upstairs and go to bed right now, in this street. Good night. Good night. Do not let me see either of your faces. Yeah, I think that different places are getting wrapped by different ones based upon they're just kind of getting them from wherever they can get them from. It's crazy, and you know it's all Fed driven too. It's not like the coins vaporize. I mean, I know that things aren't circulating the way they once were, but the coins also just don't disappear. Not to mention they minted a couple of billion coins since the whole coin shortage started anyways. I'm surprised that they don't have that the three of them, because they hunt halves. I would think that they would have. I mean, they might not know all the juicy details, but I don't know. I would think they would have some kind of recollection. But then again, you know, a lot of the stackers don't. They don't care about anything except for silver for the most part, anyway. So they might not know. Because I know that a lot of the stackers don't even bother. They just, if it's not silver, they pass it up. But when coins are hard to come by, you better use them for the most of their potential. That was very nice of you, my friend. Well, no, we should wait. Yeah, for me, I always have looked for the airs, but if the boxes start to get on my nerves, I also give up on the airs and just hunt for silver. Because I mean, sometimes the boxes just they wear on you. I mean, poor Enigma went through like 23 boxes before he got back on the silver. That's what I've done as well as far as selective. I have gotten, because I have a hard time scoping them anyways, just because the glare and all the different things like that. And a lot of those ones are a little bit less crazy comparatively to the other airs as far as being able to see. If you don't have good eyes, it's a pain in the butt. And if they're not in great shape, they're not necessarily worth a ton. So I've definitely gotten selective. No Money Inc. Your ears must have been burning. We were talking about you. Hunt's going well. We've got what do we have here? 4 wheats. Star of the show. We got a dime up 9 cents. 409s. I got to update the board. And Canuck. Yep, that's what we were talking about. Oh gosh. You hear this dog barking? Oh. Oh, and 3. Oosh. Yeah, I've only I think done 1/2 box in the last 3 weeks, and I was 0-0, or 0-1, I should say. Hey, if you got an awesome first roll, that's It's better than nothing. I mean, everybody's been struggling. Wow. You know, I'm kind of disappointed on the quarters, man. I thought they would hold a little bit. I mean, I actually sold a full set recently, and I did well on it. But the one-offs, I actually took a bunch to the show with me, and the dealers just don't do moderns, man. It's crazy. You know, I'm going to look it up real quick. Hang on 1 second for me. Because it's in my one video. I just don't remember what it's called. Videos. There you go. Okay. Whoops. If you go there, in the description is a link to the PDF, and you can just print it out. I laminated mine so I can keep using it over and over again. It doesn't get beat up, but you can do the same thing by printing it out. But I just print this out, and it's my little cheat sheet that I use, just so I just let them pile up there, and then I scope them all at once, or I start scoping them, and when like this pile's kind of big, I might scope those here in a little bit just to make my life a little bit easier before I have a tumblage. But I do it so I only have to scope one thing at a time. I think it's a little more efficient, and it gives you a better look at similar coins. And so when you have something that's a little bit off, it's certainly more noticeable. Wow. So you're finding W's in Guam too, huh? That's crazy. That they sent boxes all the way to Guam with the W's sprinkled in. I've been watching Bella's dad, aka Phil. He's been getting uncirculated boxes left and right of the older quarters. Oh, we got ourselves another week, 1948. That's Wheatie 5. Yeah, I haven't even hunted quarters. Like I said, I've hunted maybe 4 boxes of coins in the last 3 weeks. Down and out. Hey, spray can guys! I appreciate you guys coming in. Mikey, good to see ya. Past preservation. I don't know that I've met you before. Nice to see you. Zach Lane. Oh, thanks for stopping by, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Wow, you can order uncirculated rolls. Oh, that'd be crazy. Is that because it's the Guam series that they do that? Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I actually found the Warren Pacific is that's the highest percentage of uncirculated boxes that I've gotten. I think that I got maybe a total of 5 of those when it was all said and done. They were definitely the nicest to me for the W as well. The other, I mean, I had a number of uncirculated boxes that were not fruitful at all, and talk about frustrating. When you get an uncirculated box of the older, you know, the 19s and 20s, you kind of expect to get W's, and when they're nil, you're like, ugh. Oh no, Boss Dog Coin Ring. I hope I'm not having the same. I got a message earlier that was saying something's goofy, whatever, but right now it says my connection's excellent and I'm not getting any error messages. Is anybody else having problems with the video? If not, you might just have to refresh. I know that happens occasionally where it gets a hiccup in the system. And with all those people coming in, it might have said, what's going on? This guy never has this many people in here. We actually have to give him some bandwidth. Who knows? Yeah, I wish I could break me too. That'd be a good thing. You know, like you look at these streams where you go in there like, there's 4,000 people watching this stream. You're like, okay, then how come they're having a hard time when I've got 10 people in here? Come on now. Spray Can Coins. Good to see you. Thanks for sending your peeps over. I greatly appreciate it. How was your hunt this evening? Was it fruitful? I gotta update my board again here because I've been slacking. It's looking. Actually, I'll do that now. We have 2, 4, 5. So it looks better than it is, or better than it looks now. Hey, well, that's the important part. If everybody enjoyed it, it doesn't matter how much crazy stuff you find. That's half the fun of hunting with people there, is just the conversation, or at least it is for me. It's fun when you find stuff, but I think it's just as entertaining to find out what everybody's up to and what's new and what's going on, and you might actually end up learning something. Michael Money, welcome. Yeah, I haven't gone live in a while, but I had this box of pennies sitting on my desk for a couple of weeks now, and I just felt lucky, like I might be able to replace it tomorrow. So I said, I'm going to hunt it, and I'm going to hopefully be able to replace it tomorrow. Because if not, I'll be down and out of coins yet again. Yeah, I get the outlet, man. I mean, I remember when I was dating my wife, and she had coins, and I used to roll her coins because to me, like rolling the coins even is therapeutic. It's kind of like, you know, going through them too. It's just, I don't know. I guess you have to be a coin person or an OCD where you just need that crazy rhythm, I guess, to make yourself half normal. No, I actually I kind of do have a Hawaii box. I am talking to somebody that he's tried to get a box a couple of times. He actually has somebody that works with one of the coin companies there, like Brinks or whatever it is. And he's like, I can't get a box. He's like, does it have to be a box? I'm like, no, it just needs to be 50 rolls. So he's like, I think I can pull it together then. So I actually messaged him this weekend and asked him how things were coming. And he's like, I've almost got it. So it's not official yet, but I think that I am going to be able to get that. Wow. 35 years. That's a lot of hunting, man. I have not been hunting that long. I was into it as a kid and then got out of it. And I just kind of dove back in again a couple of years ago. My collection is pretty meek compared to a lot of people's out there, but I'll get there in time. Just got to keep plugging away. Yeah, I'm not a. I guess I'm spoiled. I bank with Bank of America, and if you have a business account with them, you can drop your coins off in bags, so I don't have to re-roll them anymore. And I just do that because it's a huge time saver. Not that I really minded rolling them that much, but when you're doing kind of the volume that I was doing, it saves you a ton of time not having to re-roll them. And the other thing that I do too is, unlike a lot of the other banks that do the bagged coins, if you can tell them what's in the bag, so if I say to them, hey, there's $500 in this bag, they will credit my account that money when I drop it off. I don't have to wait most of them you have to wait 7 to 10 days for it to be officially verified. Whereas with me, I get a counter credit when I turn the bag in, and then if for whatever reason I'm lying, they make an adjustment after the case. So, we've got another Canadian 2001. So I always know what I'm turning in. So I can get that instant credit, but also don't have to spend the effort and time rolling, which is really nice. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. I felt like I needed to do a video on that at some point, but I've seen a video, I think, or a video or two done. I don't know if people just don't know about it or whether it's just, different audiences, but and I think it weighs heavily on the business account end of things, which aren't hard to get. I mean, especially if you've got yourself set up properly. And it makes yourself a whole lot easier getting coin as well. And the parameters aren't really crazy. I mean, it's not like, to avoid some fees, you have to have bigger balances, but, the fact that you can get coins much more readily, I think, offsets any of the fees that are associated with it, even if you don't want to hold those kind of balances. Yeah, I love pennies. That's why I've gone back to them. I've gone back to them twofold. I wanted to find my 81s, which I've got going here. And the pennies is going to be a much quicker and cheaper route to that. And there's a ton more varieties. I like the quarters, but the quarters have really lost some of their appeal when they got rid of the W program. Because you can't bank on. I mean, I've done all right with silver from a quarter standpoint, but you really can't bank on the silver. And once you kind of have a nice set of the other quarters, what's the end game? Because I bought a BU 68 quarter at the show for 50 cents. So it's not like, you know, and they consider 68s moderns even. I mean, all these dealers, they, you know, simply because of the sheer volume of mintages, unless it's graded and graded, you know, ridiculously high, most of them aren't worth that much. Unless they've got an error in them. So that's why I've gone kind of back to the penny, because there are a number of errors. And some of them are worth quite a bit, quite frankly. Just gotta find them. I'd really love to get back into the nickels, but nickels have been impossible to find circulated lately, at least for me. It's been like crazy. I think I've only done 17 boxes this year, which might sound like a lot, but seeing that we're halfway through the year, it's not very many boxes of nickels at all. Yeah, I would love to own a Pornstar too. Talk about a money machine, man. Publix actually owns theirs. They don't even use Coinstar. I'm surprised that Walmart and all those places just haven't, you know, gone around Coinstar and just done that themselves, like Publix. I mean, it's not like you're talking about a huge investment on their part for the machines, especially when they're dinging people at the percentages they are on the flip side. I mean, I want to say that if you aren't getting a gift card, you're paying something stupid like 10%. Do I find a lot of S's? I guess it's hard for me to answer that, and the reason why I say that is because I've been doing the State Penny Challenge. Probably half of my boxes have been out-of-state boxes. I would say, from what I recall, my personal boxes don't have that many S's in them. But I have found a number of S's this year just because of the other boxes I've been hunting. But most of my stuff is flat out straight Philly stuff, which makes my air hunting pretty high because a lot of the airs do come from Philly. But those S's, I get them. I don't get them that much. Like this is a Florida box, and I think I've seen one S tonight, so I don't see a lot of S's out of mine. But all right, Spray Can, again, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for sending your peoples over, and enjoy your day tomorrow, man. Yeah, I'm kind of dreading tomorrow myself. I just know my peoples are going to be miserable after partying hard for 11 days straight. It's kind of like those first couple of days back to school when real school starts back up until they get back into the swing of things. Those first couple of days are always the toughest. The 69S Lincoln Cent looks machine doubled. Mine? I didn't have a 69S. Oh, are you talking about one you guys saw earlier tonight? If you're talking about a 69S that I had, then you got way much better eyes than I do. Yeah, that 69S can be a tricky one. I actually was looking at a forum, and this one, to me, it looked like totally legit of what you'd expect. But everybody in the forum was saying, nope, that's machine doubled. That's definitely machine doubled. The Barbados Trinidad, that's a cool coin. I like that one. When I hunted your stuff from Guam, I was surprised at the number of Canadians. That was the only foreign that I found, I think, in your box, which is really weird to me. I was really expecting to find stuff from like the different island nations around Guam in the penny boxes. But I'm assuming that they're just shipping the stuff in from the state, directly from the States. Really? Did you find it, was it double? Was it potentially doubled as well? Steel Wool Queen, I didn't see you. Thanks for swinging in. Unless you've been lurking in the background and I missed you come in. Thanks for stopping by. That'd be crazy if you found a 69S and it. Talk about that, man. That might be an S right there. Nope. See how bad my eyes are? It's just 9D. Yeah, I'm just getting used to this stream stuff. When stuff starts moving too fast, I lose it. Not used to having that many people in here. When you give us above more than I can count on a hand, it's like crazy town in here. Yeah, exactly. Those are the ones I was thinking of. Wow. And they're the ones I'm missing too, because I'm missing a lot of those. Were for my world coins. I was actually looking at it because at the coin show, that's one of the things that I did is I bought some world coins to help fill up my missing stuff. So I got a video coming out on it, but I'll show you anyways. Like I got this one I had, but like this West African, this is an Unk coin that I got it's from West Africa. This coin from Oman. Algeria. Look at this one, man. This one, again, these prices here, it added up to like $25. I think I paid $20 for the lot. This coin here was worth like 12 bucks. I was shocked when I came home and looked them up. Sudan. I got a couple of those because they were a little bit different. This one had the scalped edges, which I love. And then this was not missing from my world, but this is one of the ones I wanted. It's a 33 un peso. I love myself Mexican coins. And then I picked up this one as well, simply because I like it. It reminds me of the magic coins. And this one's Unk. And then an Iraq coin. They had a lot of the standard run-of-the-mill stuff, but I was really hoping that they had more of my missing foreign stuff. Man, some of those other ones are gonna be tough. I've been looking at them and they get expensive online. I think it's just because they're hard to find. Welcome back, Michael. Yeah, I mean, I love the world coins because they're just different, you know. When you see stuff that's different than what you see every day, it's just pretty cool. But some of those other islands are going to be tough. Oh, you want a peso from Mr. Kittle? He's got some. I mean, he almost does exclusively silver though. Most of my stuff is not that fancy. The Mexican peso is. I mean, I like the Mexican coins. That's why I got that one. But most of the stuff that I got for the world coins, I've got some silver, but most of it's just a coin. And I got it just because I wanted to have some of that variety, and it's just cool. I mean, like that lion coin, I bought that not even knowing whether I would, you know, I actually ended up doing well on that particular coin, but I bought it because I thought it was a cool looking coin. And it's just gravy on top of it that is actually worth more than I bought it for. But I think, like, I mean, all the booths I looked at, like Chad is going to be a hard country to pick up a coin from. Syria is hard to pick up from. And some of the stuff you can't even buy online either. Because there's restrictions on that coinage online, at least from the major hubs. All right, Mikey. Appreciate you swinging by, buddy. Have a great night. Yeah, I hope my stream's not messing up on my end. That would not be cool. But we'll figure it out, I guess. Are you out too, Michael's Money? You're saying goodbye to Mikey. If you are, have a great evening. If you're not, glad you're staying. 75. All right, no worries, Glenn. I was surprised to see. I know the time difference is quite different. So have a wonderful day at work. I think it's actually tomorrow where you're at today. So enjoy the future. And I'll catch you around. It was good seeing you. No worries, Michael. I know how it goes. I mean, there's lag anyways, so when I see things, it probably happened 30 seconds ago. It's just the life of a stream. It's even worse when you got 1,000 people talking and you're trying to figure out what question they're asking versus what question you ask. The more people you have, the more confusing it gets. So it's all good. Oops. Over there. There's a lot of 20s and 21s in here. Still a lot of new coinage. Yeah, it is. It lags, and it's just crazy. It's just something you have to get used to. Like the guys that stream all the time, there's an art to it. That is definitely for sure, because it's just knowing how you're going and when you're asking. I also think that they have a better system set up to where I know that some of the streams that I watch, they don't lag quite as much, and I've got it set up where it should lag the least, but I know there's a significant time between what I'm saying and seeing it, and I know that even from a bidding standpoint, when I'm in auctions and stuff, like I'll bid and it's like 10 days before the bid shows up and stuff like that. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, you just never know. And like I said, the more people you have in you, you're like, they might have missed the question, or they're answering them out of order, or you just never know. Gotta get rid of some of these coins on here. It's getting kind of sloppy over here again. Yeah, no Wi-Fi. I went to camp with my sons, scout camp, and we had zero anything. No Wi-Fi, no cell service. No, I mean, you had to drive 2 miles out of camp before you got any signal at all. Like, so you weren't sending text messages, you weren't doing anything. It was like living out in the middle of no place for a week. Yeah, it's good and bad in some ways, man. You realize how much you have become reliant on the technology, though. Even when you're trying to communicate with other people. I mean, back in the day, we used to have to bike to someone's house, and if they weren't home, oh well. Where now, if you don't get an answer instantaneously from somebody, you're like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, the world's ending. Another 2021, man. I'm telling you, they're in here. Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons when you have no Wi-Fi versus having Wi-Fi. It's like, it's definitely different. Well, the crazy thing is the camp had Wi-Fi, but they like limited the number of users that were on. But then when you did get on their Wi-Fi network, you like could be parked on it for like hours at a time, even though you weren't even by that particular building anymore, because there was only a couple of buildings that you could hook into the Wi-Fi. So all the spots were filled up by people that weren't even by the building anymore. So it's like a very inefficient setup. So you essentially had no service, because unless you were one of the first handful of people that walked by when a spot was open, you weren't getting on their network anyways. Yeah, well, the thing is, this camp is acres and acres and acres. So, I mean, you're talking about just being able to talk to somebody or ask a question. You got to walk 20 minutes. And you still want to even find them then. So, brings you back to the Stone Age. It was fun, though. It was good. Look at that. We got another dime. Up 18 cents. It'd be great with a silver dime too, but it's not. Second dime in the box. This is like a Georgia Silver Hunters box. I think in his box I had four dimes in his. It's like making some money. Yeah, that's one thing with the pennies is too. Is you with the pennies, even you're certainly more likely to make money on the box than lose money. Whereas all the other denominations, when you've got a quarter box and you get a dime or a nickel or a penny, you're losing money. And people stick pennies in just about anything. So find a penny in a quarter box, you really got hosed. But you're almost always on the outside on the penny box. I don't know that I feel like I should call it something. In the past I never really have. But I know that some people have added dime because they find dimes. I haven't really found them that often, so I guess I would call it a miscellaneous if I was to call it something. But I know there's some hunters that actually have a slot for dime. I believe Enigma has dime on his penny when he's giving himself points for his hunts. He actually includes dimes. But I don't seem to find them that often, but I'll take it when I do. You know, like I said, that one box I had for Georgia Silver Hunter, I think I had like 4 or 5 dimes in it. It was like, what? But it's so... I mean, I probably have only had a handful of boxes that have had dimes in them, but it's always nice to be on the upside. And these are bankrolled too, so I mean that means there's 2 dimes hanging out in this hopper. Maybe more. We still got a couple of rolls left. Maybe we'll be up another 9 cents here before we're said and done. Yeah, customer wrap. When you've got customer wrap rolls, you can darn near find anything. I mean, I found people jam pennies in a dime roll. They don't even fit, but they jam in there somehow. And you can find just about anything in pennies. Like, you'll find all kind of weird foreigns. You'll find dimes. I found a lot of dirty dimes where they almost looked like pennies. They were so dirty, and I'm sure that's what happened was that they were just in the box and they sorted them based on color. And because these were so grimy, they got marked as pennies when they were really dimes. Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, that's a dime, but I mean, your average person's not necessarily going to see that. Yeah, I've gotten quarters and nickels and quarter rolls too. That again, not a good thing. Means you're out 20 cents. I actually watched a guy. I was watching a video of a guy that was doing how to roll coins faster kind of thing, and he put a nickel in with his quarters, and he was saying to like put them in a pill jar, so you knew how many quarters went into the roll kind of thing. And he saw it, and he's like, "Oh, there's a nickel in here." And he was like, trying to fish it out, and unsuccessfully fished it out, and still included it in his quarter roll. I'm like, that's exactly how they get in there. Yeah, and there's some people that will do it intentionally, where they're just like, we're gonna put this nickel in here because it'll make me 20 cents. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for. I took a picture of it and brought it back into the lady at the bank. I was like, dude, you need to fix this. But she gave me a roll of dimes that had like 2 dimes on the end. The whole roll was full of pennies, and then 2 more dimes on the end. I'm like, I don't mind eating it when I'm losing a couple cents here and there, but when you've got 35 pennies in with a couple of dimes, that's not cool. But she told me, she's like, hey, if you have rolls that are goofy like that, just let me know and I'll make it right. And normally if there's like these foreigns here, I've got 2 Canadians. I'm not going to go in and say, hey, I got 2 Canadians in there. I just don't worry about stuff like that. But when you've got a full roll where you know someone's trying to bamboozle you, that's when I say something. Yeah, it's kind of crappy. And you know the person knew. I mean, it's not like they accidentally put 35 pennies in a roll of dimes. I mean, if it was a penny, you might be like, someone wasn't paying attention kind of thing. But in that case, that wasn't like an accidental, I'm going to put all these pennies in this dime roll and just put dimes on the ends where people, if they check them, would see. But hey, they must have needed the money more than I did. And on the flip side, that the box that roll was in, I ended up finding like 3 silver dimes. So I'm like, okay, so you're jamming these rolls and you're throwing the silver dimes away. Makes 0 sense. Yeah, it's the same thing with being short. You're going to do. I don't. Some people count. I'm sure I've been shorted on rolls because the way that I do it, since my bank will credit me based upon the value that I declare, I start off with a box. My box has $500 in it, and then I'll lay my coins out like this. So at the end, I say, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20. I've kept 20 quarters. I need to replace it with 20 quarters, so I replace it with whatever the value is that I'm taking out, and I call it $500. So if I got shorted, I'm shorting right back. So I'm sure there's times, because I know from watching other hunters, there's people that weigh their rolls so they know if they got too much or not enough, and there's plenty of times where you're getting an extra quarter or you're getting, screwed out of a quarter, or in some cases even more than that, where you might be short 2 quarters. But I count it as if it's all legit, and that's how I replace it. What's up, Coin Kid? 4. Where's 4 at? Oh, 4, foreign. I couldn't put all of it in there, or I have to reduce the font too much, so it's foreign. So it's wheat, foreign, 09, variety or air, and miscellaneous. How you been doing? I haven't seen you around in a while. Been enjoying your summer break, I'm assuming. Yeah, you'll find pennies in just about any rolls, not just nickel rolls, unfortunately. But that's the way they roll sometimes. Yeah, dimes and pennies. Pennies and dime rolls are the ones that make my blood boil. 'Cause that's so hard to mistakenly do that. I mean, you can barely get them out of the rolls sometimes. A dime ender in the roll. I'm surprised it was able to seal up and it just didn't fall out. That's crazy. It must have had a heavy crimp on it. Held it in there. All right, last roll luck here, guys. Let's see what we can do. What do we have here? 2, 4, just 5 wheats. Man, wheats have been tough to come by, too. This non-circulation is killing us. I'm telling you, once the world gets back to something a little more normal, it's going to be crazy. Maybe the feds are taking all the wheats out. Becoming collectors on their own. They're going to open up the U.S. Mint website for collectible coins. Oh, we got an oldie. 1926. Make sure there's no mint mark. That's awesome. That's 2. Is this a 29? So we got a 29 and a 26. So not, here, I'll show you the date on that one. So not an old one, or not a lot of wheats, but a couple of oldies. I'll take that all day long. Another 09. Yeah, if only there was an S. I know. What are you going to do, though? Those S20s, man, those are some nice, nice coins. I don't have any of those yet. Yeah, it must have been your fingers crossed worked. We got ourselves an old Wheatie. So what do we end up with here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we ended up with 6, with 2 of them being 20s, which is pretty awesome. 2, 4, 6, 8 09s, 2 dimes, 2 foreigns. Copper Cup's light though. Look at that. I'll bet you if I had to guess, it's like 1,000 grams, which is way light for me. But 2 old wheats. Pretty happy about it. I'm assuming you guys are both off for the summer. Yep. Oh, to be young again. Have the whole summer off. See if we can find ourselves anything good in here. Be nice to find a variety in this box. Oh yeah? What camp are you going to? Or is it just a regular camp, or is it scout camp? My kids went to sports camp 1 week, and they went to scout camp 1 week. Oh, sailing camp. Okay. My sister used to work at a camp. She worked at the camp forever, like till she was like mid-20s, where it was upstate. And when I say upstate, when you say upstate, you're probably talking just out of the city. She was upstate, like almost in Canada upstate. But it was a YMCA camp, and they did sailing and swimming and all kind of craziness. Sailing is tough, man, but she loved it. I mean, it was fun. Didn't get good at it. It's not easy to learn. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have noticed the copper in the boxes. I've been pulling. Is that a crack? It's kind of weird. Got like a cracked head. Oh, just on one side. But it's been going down. I mean, it's probably down 30% from when I first started pulling it. I mean, I'm sure part of it is because it's the same area that I'm in, so I'm sure me pulling it out might affect it some. But it's definitely going down. I mean, I had that one state box that I got from Minnesota, and it was zero copper. There wasn't a copper cent in there. Yeah, that crack is weird on that one. It's like right through his skull. Almost like a hair at first, but it's definitely a crack. It goes right up, all the way up on the rim too. So it's probably a die crack that goes down across his head, down by his ear. It's kind of cool. Yeah, not one copper in that box. No wheat. I mean, the oldest penny I had in the whole box was an 82. It was like totally, and it was bankrolled. So, if to get a bankrolled box that had zero copper in it, someone would have to dump off a lot of. Ooh, I like that one. That one looks weird. I'm gonna have to look into that under a different light tomorrow. Because I'm getting a lot of glare tonight. But I'm guessing they probably would have had to drop at least 5 boxes in order for the hopper to be full enough to It's not like his one box of hunted stuff ended up in another single box someplace. So it had to have been multiple boxes that were in the hopper all at once. It was weird. Those die chunks. Some weird scents in here, man. This is 95. Yeah, that crack is kind of like the bison. It's where it goes all the way from the top through. I'd love to find that, man. It's a Denver air though, so the chances of finding that in my Philly boxes aren't very strong. Yeah, I'd love to find that on one of those nice pennies like that. Get the nice pennies and you're like, oh, that'd be there. Then you find it on one of these beat up ones and you're like, come on. Why can't it be on the nice penny? Look how nice that penny is. It'd be perfect to find the air on. Or this one. Nope. Yeah, I found some wide AMs, but none of them have been super pretty pennies. It's like never fails, man. The one that kills me is my eyesight kind of sucks. When I'm hunting through, I'll look like this, be like, oh, it's a wide AM, and I flip over, it's a 90. That I threw in thinking it was a 99. I probably happens to me once a month, I would say. I'm like, sweet, I got one. Nope, it's a 90. And 90 is supposed to be wide AM. I'd love to find a close AM here too, but that's probably a pipe dream. And the 88 reverse of 89, it's a nice error, man. If you can find that, that's worth some cash. I didn't realize how nice that could be. But it's pretty elusive too. That's why it's worth so much. reverse of the 89, there's like serifs on the. Let me see if I have an 89 or an 88 just still here. Gotta put my eyeballs back on. So let's see here. 92. I had a bunch of 88s. Where'd they all go? 92. Come on. Here we go. So you'll see on this one here. Let me change this for you too. Where's my microscope large? Scenes, microscope large. So on the, if you look at the G, this has like the straight G. It will have a serif on the top, and it will have like a leg on the bottom, and the G, the small part of the G is bumped out slightly from the top. So right, this top part here is going to be out closer to the edge. So I basically call it a serif G. You'll notice the difference. Like you'll see how that kind of lines up with the top curve of the G, and the lines, the bottom line's kind of straight. You'll see a serif there if it's the reverse of the 89, and they're like worth like 50 to 100 bucks, which is pretty nice for a penny. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, flipping over the 92 and then end up being a 2000. That's exactly what happens to me with the 90s. I just think of them as 99s. I'm going through and I'm like, yes, white AM. So I've been there. I do that to myself way too often. We play you win. Good evening. I didn't see you come in. Thanks for swinging by. Oh, this is down too low now. My fingers don't even fit underneath there. No worries, Georgia. Yeah, they're clearly tougher to find than you would think. It's one I always hunt for because it's a pretty easy one to spot. Like it's kind of like the close AM and the wide AM. If you've got it, it'll scream at you pretty readily. Whereas some of these other ones, you know, the lighting can really play games with you. Look at the striation on that one. Rude. Hey, you're always welcome to sneak in. I appreciate it. Yeah, pennies are going to be actually all coins is tough to come by anymore. So enjoy the hunts while you can still watch them. Because boxes are getting tougher and tougher to find. What was there on the Airman, Georgia? Was it different than the dye chips on the planes and the goggles and stuff? One on the plane. I've seen. I generally find it on the goggles. I want to say I've only seen the plane from other people. I don't know that I've found it on my own. my finger on the coin. Okay, yes, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. I've got a bunch with the goggles. Actually, I might even have them right here. Whoops. Sorry. I just totally goofed that up. I didn't I? Hang on one second. Up here, come back down here. There we go. Technical difficulties. See, I don't know if yours was any bigger than that. Let me move this down so we get so much glare. Scenes, extra large. That's what happens when you smack your microscope or your camera. Let's see, these are mostly crossing the Delaware. There's one. This is like my newer quarter air bin. Airman. Most of these are crossing the Delaware, though. So you got that. This is probably the same one. Oh, nope, this is not the same one. Huh. Well, I don't know why I set this one aside. Getting a ton of glare tonight, though, I'll tell you that. Let's move this down here like this. I don't know why I set that one aside. You'll see there's that chip on the goggle. That's been the pretty traditional one that I've found. And they're all about that same size. There's nothing. I found one that's bigger than that. I don't know where it is, but I've not found them on the planes. There's supposed to be one on the roof of this building, too. I've not found that yet either. All right. So these all gotta go away. Oh, I'll take a gander. Yeah, I tried to do the. I've got to bump up the microscope, I think, on my main screen so it shows better, but I definitely try to do the full screen because I know that I struggle as a viewer on watching other people's stuff, that when you're trying to look at it, it's hard to see that microscope being the size that it is. Oh, that's cool, man. I would hang on to that, definitely. That's definitely cool looking. It's hard to tell from that picture, though. It's not damaged, though, right? It definitely, from the picture, it looks like it's... But it doesn't look like a normal chip either because of the curvature that it has on that. But it's cool. I would definitely hold on to it. It's so hard to tell damage sometimes without having the coin itself, though. That's the only reason I say that. And the only reason I say damage is because the shape of it's pretty weird for like a die chip. Normally they're not shaped like that. They're normally pretty like chunky looking versus where that actually has distinctive pattern to it. Yeah, it is. It's in the right spot for the die chip, though. It is, but it's just it's got a very unique shape to it. That's why I would. I mean, it's a quarter. I would hang on to it. You just never know. Is the way that I look at it. And then when you find out it's worth $1,000, you'll be happy you kept it. Oh, by the way, I got you something this week. I'll have to show you here in a second. Let me finish my way in here. And you have to tell me whether you got one yet or not. So those are non-copper. Ah, crap. So, where did you guys go? Gray sheet, July, August, September. If you still need it, I grabbed an extra copy at the coin show this week. I went to the fun coin show in Orlando this weekend, and they actually had a booth there, and so I stopped by and I picked it up. I was like, I know that he was looking for one, and I wouldn't mind having a current one, so I took an extra. Actually, I took a couple extra. So I would be more than happy. I'll get that out to you tomorrow, so you have it for your collection. So I know you were trying to hunt one down. So you had one, and it is, I know the one that I have is, they don't change that much, I don't think, but I know they changed some, so this one is current. I was watching a video of a guy that went to this same coin show last year, and he was buying American Silver Eagles for $25, and was like, I really don't like paying $25 for Silver Eagles. I'm like, man, if you only knew. He'd probably be buying by the tube load if he could see a year in the future. No worries, man. Glad I could help you out. Yeah, exactly. When I was watching the video, he was like, but I mean, everything was cheap. It was like all the bullion rounds were like 20 something and all that. I'm like, wow. It really wasn't that long ago either. It was what's crazy to me. And he actually put out a new video because he went to the show again this year, and he bought Type 2 ASEs. I think he said he only paid $38 a piece for them, but he was talking about what a great price that was, whereas just a year earlier he was bulking at $25. You could spend $5,000 at this show in a heartbeat. I mean, they had, I mean, I'll put the video up. I didn't take very much video at all, but there was it was overwhelming. For me, it was overwhelming because I didn't go in with any particular game plan. I went to the show just to kind of see it. I was taking my son to get his coin collecting merit badge, and I wanted to kind of just enjoy the show. And because I didn't go with a purpose, it was like, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff, and all the stuff is just amazing. It was crazy. I mean, you really have to go there and say, these are the three things I want to buy, and then kind of shop around to see, what kind of deal you can get, because, you know, everybody has everything, and it's really nice. I mean, one of the things is I got my dad's Mercury album, and he was only missing 2 coins, and I already bought one of them. But the other one is the 16D, which of course, is a really hard coin. It should be a hard coin to find. Everybody had 16Ds. I mean, they're not cheap, but I mean, just about every booth you went to, you could find a 16D, which is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for me that everybody has them. But it was like, in the show, I guess, when they do it in January, it's 2 to 3 times as big, which I can't even fathom that. I mean, it would take you 2 days to walk it if it's 2 or 3 times that big. But so be it. So this is what we got here. We got 2, 4, 6. Let's see what designs. I didn't look at the designs. Yeah, I thought Type 2. The Mint's gonna sell them for like $80 though, right? Or no? Or am I on crack here? I mean, I guess it's probably bullion versus the Mint's probably considered the what's it called? Why is the word eluding me? The Mint way. Why can't I think of it? I want to say it begins with a B. Come on, help me out here. Why is this 86 and 96 up here? Oh, that was the trash skull. Oh, I wanted to look at that. I wanted to look at those are the 2 I wanted to look at. See, this was a Georgia box, man. Got 2 dimes tonight. Maybe it's not the S. It's varnished. That's the word. Yeah, I knew I'd remember it. Varnished is the detail. Like if you get a bullion, a lot of times it's got that really shiny look to it, whereas the Mint is not proof per se, or it might be proof. The new one coming out, where the Mint is going to be varnished. That's why they can charge more. So we didn't end up with a ton of stuff, but we ended up with some nice stuff. So we had these 2 that I'm going to look at under different lighting tomorrow because I'm getting a lot of glare. This one's cool though. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Let me go back to microscope large. This guy's got a cracked call. His skull is cracked, and it goes all the way from the rim up here all the way down through his head. Goes all the way down under his ear, which I think is pretty cool. That I don't have to look at in the morning. I know why I'm keeping that one. But this one, I'm just getting a lot of glare. It's that 95. It looks more machine doubled to me than anything, but it's got some stuff going on to it. I'm not sure lighting wise what it is. Liberty doesn't look really strange to me per se, but it's so shiny. I'm going to take a gander at it under different light tomorrow. The cracked skull or this is a 95. This cracked skull was a 96. I think it's pretty cool. I haven't seen that before. Coin community collectors, welcome to the stream. Is there a term? I wasn't sure. It just looked to me. It doesn't look. This doesn't look like double die per se, but it looks weird. But I'm not sure if it's just the lighting. So that's why I wanted to look at it, because it's got something going on. But it's a shiny coin. That's why I kind of don't want to just huck it back. There's also a lot of striation to the way it's been, either the planchet was or what. Double ear on 96. I don't think it's a double ear. I think that's just where the crack goes from. Why isn't the showing up? The crack goes from here all the way up behind the ear, and then it goes all the way up. Here, I'll turn it this way. So it goes from the rim here, and then it goes down behind the ear, and then it ends like right there. I think what you might be seeing, I don't see any doubling on the ear. It just might be the way that crack's looking. It just looks weird because of that crack. I don't see any, the ear looks a little fat on the bottom, I guess. Maybe not. I think that's just lighting. I'm keeping this one regardless. Because I like that crack. I haven't seen that die crack like that before. So I'm keeping that one. This one I want to look at. Oops, you guys can't see that now. Hang on. So, crack. This one is the one I want to look at. We got 2 Canadians. We ended up with one of each of the 4 designs of the 09s. We got a couple of dimes. We only had 6 wheats, but come on. Why? We had a 29. And a 26. Yeah, I love crack, man. You heard it here first. Yeah, so I don't see older Wheaties like this very often. So to get 2 20s in a single box, winner in my book all day long. So not amazing, but we did look at these, man. We almost got, I'm telling you, when I hunt a box, this is probably 2/3 of a roll of 81s. So I get anywhere from half to a full roll normally, or just a little over a full roll of 81s, which is pretty huge considering that my cup here, I'm going to guess there's like between 1,000 and 1,100 grams of copper in there. The scale that I weigh off of doesn't go up that high. I have to go out in my kitchen to weigh off the scale out there when I get over, I think, 1,000 grams. I'm sure it's over that. But it's definitely light, because a lot of times I'll end it with a full cup, and a full cup's under 2,000. So, but anywho's, that is it for me for the evening, guys. I appreciate you swinging by. I am working hard to try to get myself some watch time up. So feel free to swing by, watch a video or 2 or 3 or 4 or 20. I would greatly appreciate it. My watch time will by far be my limiting factor to hitting my big number. We had a misstamped quarter. What was up with the 60 we play? Yeah, the auto crack will get you every time, man. Hey, no worries, man. I know how it is. When it gets late and when the computer starts, working for you, that sometimes it's a curse. But I appreciate you guys swinging by. It's great. So, have a wonderful evening. Have a great week. And I'll catch you guys on my next stream or video. I'll have to swing by you, play. I'll catch y'all later.